do the even numbers on your paper, these would be the numbers you do, because they're even. They're divisible by 2. Ready? 3 times tables. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, almost done. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and we're done. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. How many of you are getting that tune? Right, good job. Okay, let's do a quick review of, where is my eraser? Right here. Of some place values. All right, so let's say I have, it's not very dark. Oh. Okay, so this is our, let's start here. What period are these numbers right here? 1's period. Okay, what about this period in between these two? These are your thousands. And then what about this period right here? Millions. Now, in each period we have the same names, the same places. So here we have, what is it? 1s, 10s, hundreds. 1s, 10s, hundreds. 1s, 10s, hundreds. Okay, that's what each of those start with. Jed, you can put that away because you're actually doing too much. 1s starts with an O, T starts with a, 10 starts with a T, and 100 starts with an H. But what do they end with? 1s, 10s, hundreds, S. Okay? Alright? So, the reason I'm telling you that is because if I have a decimal point here, alright, that means that everything over on this side is a whole number. It means if I gave you a whole pie, what would that mean? Micah, what does that mean?
It doesn't have, it's not
A whole pie.
doesn't have parts taken out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't have any parts taken out of it. It's the whole thing. And that's what any number to the left of a decimal point are whole numbers. Now, where else do we see a decimal point? Where else might you see that? Jensen?
After a number, maybe?
Okay, but I'm thinking more like money, right? If you're writing a money amount, a lot of times you might need a decimal point. Okay, all the time, really. So these are all, I'm just going to write here, these are whole numbers. Okay, now what we're going to learn today is, what's on this side of the decimal point? Wow, I'm going to tell you. Everything on this side of the decimal point is not a whole number. It's a fraction of a number. So a fraction is just a part of it. Okay, it's a piece. So to the right of our decimal point, we also have place values. Okay, now the one thing different is that we do not have a ones place on this side. Okay, so our first place value is called tenths. Now, what's the difference between tens and tenths? Do you hear a difference and see a difference? Tens, tenths. Logan.
The one has an SH at the end?
Yeah, this one has a TH in it. Tenth. So anything that has a fraction has a th sound in it. So our next, you know what, I'm just gonna erase this, okay? So after, well, I tell you what, I think that's all we're gonna be learning today. And then the next, tomorrow, we're gonna learn what this place is called, okay? And then we could even learn more. But really, these are the most, probably the most important ones you'll need to know. So we don't have a once place. You've never heard of once. But tenths, and then we'll learn tomorrow what this is. So open, okay, please don't call out. Okay, we raise our hand. I'm glad that you know, but you can't call out. All right, open your math book to page 50. If your favorite pie is apple, raise your hand. If your favorite pie is blueberry, raise your hand. If your favorite pie is chocolate pie. If your favorite pie is coconut cream. If your favorite pie is cherry. If your favorite pie is, what's another pie?
Lemon.
Pumpkin pie.
Lemon.
Okay, what about lemon meringue pie?
I want to change my answer.
Okay, did I not say a pie that somebody likes the best? Jensen?
Orange. I was just raising my
Oh, straw. How many of you have ever had strawberry pie?
Me.
That tastes really good, especially with some whipped cream on
I
top.
like every pie.
Okay, so those are, imagine your favorite pie, okay? Now, on page 15, we're going to pretend like our pie is square-shaped, okay? So, just look up here and please don't write in your books yet. So, and we're going to cut our pie in strips. We shouldn't be talking. So, let's say I have a pie here, okay? Let's do the example on our page. So if we wanted to eat the whole pie, then we would just color in all those, okay? Because a whole pie means the whole thing. Now, if I only wanted to eat a fraction of the pie, so let's say I'm going to eat 4 slices, okay? So I'm going to color 4 slices of pie. That is the same, since I have 10 slices, out of those 10, I ate 4. That means I ate a 4 tenths of the pie. So that's how I would say that. 4 tenths. What if I had, now let's just say I did have another pie and my friends came over and we ate the whole pie plus what I had eaten earlier. So what number is this? A whole is what? A whole pie is 1. 1 whole number. Okay, so my answer would be 1.4 because I had a whole pie and 4 tenths of a pie. So 1 4/10, that's how you would say that. So it's basically, remember how we have our place values? If this is my ones place, my decimal point is like right there. This is tenths. So 1 4/10. That's how I would write that. So let's look at the questions. On our page, it says to write the decimal. So each of these squares is divided into 10 strips. So I'm going to erase this. So number 1, who can tell me what the decimal, now decimal means it has the decimal point. Okay, so what would be number 1? Count how many pieces of the whole there are shaded in. So how many are there? Mackenzie?
6.
6. So how would I say that? Because there's 6 out of 10. So 6/10. Very good. And I can write that. And just for us to help us, let's put a 0 in the whole number place, because we don't have any holes. And 6/10. Because there's 10 tenths altogether, but only 6 of them are colored in. All right, number 2. How many tenths are there? Jensen?
2.
2 tenths. Everybody say that. 2 tenths. Make sure you emphasize the TH. Tenths. Number 3. Jana. 9 what? 9 tenths. Number 4. Logan?
1/10.
1/10. Number 5. Matthew? How many are colored in out of the 10?
5.
Okay, so how would we say that? 5. What's our new word we're learning? 5 tenths, right? Okay, because everything, whatever number is here is in the tenths place. Okay, number 6. Lucy.
7.
Good. 7 tenths. Number 7, Micah. 8 tenths, right. Number 8. Autumn.
1 whole.
Very good. Because all of them were written in. Can we put a 10 in one of the place values?
What?
No, you can only put 1 digit in each place value. So we can't write 10 tenths. Now, so the way we would write that, I'm gonna write it up here so it's higher. The same number as 10 tenths is 1, right? Because isn't that whole thing colored in? So we could either write it 1, just like that, or 1 whole and 0 tenths.
I wrote 1 1.
Don't let it trick you, okay? Because you can't put 2 digits in one place value. So if it's You go from 9 and then add one more 10, so that bumps you to the next place value. All right, number 9, you are going to color what the decimal is. You can just use your pencil, or if you want to use colored pencil, it's fine. So for number 9, explain to me what we're going to color. We have 1 3/10. So Jacob, how are we going to color that?
1 whole and 3 tenths.
Right. We're going to color the first square. We're going to color the whole thing. And then the next square, color 3 out of the 10. And later, we'll learn when you write it as a fraction. So 3/10, we can either write like this, 1 3/10, or have you ever seen a fraction like that?
Yeah.
Same thing. 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10. So there's different ways you can write it. But we're writing them not as a fraction, we're writing them as a decimal,
Yeah.
which is with a decimal point. Okay, question?
3 and 10 numerator and denominator.
I can't understand what you said.
3 and 10 are called numerator and denominator.
Can somebody say, what did she say? Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
3 and 10 are called numerator and denominator.
You're right. Yeah. On a fraction like this, Jana said the top is the numerator and the bottom is the denominator. She's right, but you don't need to know that right now. All right, so for number 10, how would we color number 10? All right, we've got 2 and 7/10. So Mason, what do we do?
We're gonna color 2 whole squares and then 7 in the last box.
Right. So colored the first 2, the whole thing, and color neater than Mrs. Muller. I do actually like to color, but it's just hard on the board. And then 7. Of the second one. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfectly colored. I mean, colored neatly, but it doesn't have to be the most beautiful coloring job you've ever done. It's not a coloring contest. Only because it would take us a lot longer to color it so beautifully. All right, number 11. How do we color? Now this one could be tricky or it could not. So if we have our 2 squares and we're coloring 9/10. So anybody want the challenge? Autumn?
Just color 9 from the first one.
Well, this is actually representing the whole number, and that we have 0 of the whole number.
The second one.
Yeah, so actually the 9/10 is part of this. So we color 9 of the 10 in the second one. But we don't color any in the first one because that we have 0 whole numbers. Don't work ahead. And then number 12, we've got 2 and 3/10. So Marissa?
You colored 2 in the boxes and only 3 of the 10.
Right. So color 2 of the holes. And then 3 of the third one, 3/10. Okay, so that Does anyone have a question about this?
No.
Okay. Now, for numbers 13 through 16, we are gonna write the number in standard form. So, standard form, remember, is just written like a regular number. Okay, except, in this case, we're gonna have a decimal point in our number. So, who can tell me how you would write number 13? It is 6 1/10. Jensen?
You would put 6 as the first number, decimal point, and then you would put a 1.
Good. 6.1. Braden?
You put 3 and then a decimal point and then a 4.
Right. Number 15. 8/10. How do I write that? Just say the answer. Does anybody know the answer? How do you write 8/10? Say it. Let's do 0.8. And then number 16, 1 9/10. 1.9. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you're gonna work on the back, and I will be available if you have any questions. And then we'll check our answers in a couple minutes. Okay? So for number 1, you should have written 0.4. Number 2, 0.8. Number 3,